When a serviceman or woman dies in Iraq or Afghanistan, a process begins to bring them home, and my understanding is that 100% of them come through Dover and are processed through the mortuary there before they're returned to their families. In just over 2 years, I've made about 200 trips to Dover. During those trips, I may photograph several fallen, but I've actually gone from Baltimore to Dover about 200 times. I am most often the only what they call external media. There are usually a photographer and a videographer from the Department of Defense, and then most often just me. Once I'm in place, the family is brought out in a vehicle. That vehicle serves as a separation between the family and me. And then once this process begins, it's a very short process, 5 minutes, to carry the case of the fallen from the airplane to a vehicle to drive it to the mortuary. The military calls it a dignified transfer. It is a very ceremonious kind of thing. Technically, the military does not consider it a ceremony. So I think of it as twofold why we're there. One is that it was such a hard fight to open this process up to the media, and the second is just that each one of these fallen service people is important to the particularly to the locals in the hometown where they're from, just so that they can be honored in their local media outlets. And I think that it's one thing to write that it's happening or to be cognizant that it is, but I think for people to see it does add another level of realness to this. It forces folks to confront the cost of the war. I think that folks can still have different conclusions about what is happening in Iraq and Afghanistan, but that they should not turn a blind eye to this significant cost of the war that is evident through what happens at Dover. But it is very difficult to make 200 trips to Dover and to see a lot of young men and women and to sometimes hear the cries of their loved ones on the other side of that bus and not just wonder. It's a difficult thing to reconcile there when you hear mothers and wives. And I often, after I'm there, will read news stories in the hometown newspapers about these individuals. And you read about their young children or even unborn children, and to realize that they won't have a father, and there are significant numbers of women that come through Dover in transfer cases as well. And, yeah, it certainly should make one a little introspective about it.